Well, new tonight, President Joe Biden announcing new executive actions to address gun violence, calling it an epidemic and an international embarrassment. Among the measures announced, a tightening of regulations for buyers of weapons known as ghost guns. The guns can be built using parts and instructions purchased online. The administration will also place heavier regulation on arm braces used to make firing a pistol more accurate. One of those braces was used in the March shooting at a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado. The president used his remarks today to call on Congress to take even more action to address gun violence, such as a ban on assault weapons or rules requiring universal background checks.
And I've said before, my job, the job of any president, is to protect the American people. Whether Congress acts or not, I'm going to use all the resources at my disposal as president to keep the American people safe from gun violence. But there's much more that Congress can do to help that effort.
The Biden administration says they'll also make new investments in intervention programs in violence-prone areas. And as you heard, the president wants to crack down on ghost guns. Hi, teammates Richard Essex tells us more about those guns and how they're put together.
Ghost guns are typically bought online. They can be bought at gun shows or can be printed at home on a 3D printer. These guns don't have serial numbers and a background check is not required to buy one.
An AR-15 ghost gun looks something like a real one. The difference being a ghost gun has not been fully manufactured. Garrison Burge is a manager at Beech Grove Firearms. He says many AR-15 ghost guns are called 80%ers because they are 80% complete when sold. The owner has to complete the manufacturing process. The section of the gun that holds the trigger needs to be finished by the owner, who then has to take a drill and remove a bunch of metal.
They essentially take a drill bit, more than just a drill bit, Dremel, grinder, etc., to Dremel this all out to then fit their fire control group into it, then making it a 100% receiver.
Beech Grove Firearms does not sell or take in trade any ghost guns because they do not have serial numbers and are not registered with the ATF, and a background check is not required to buy one.
Gun safety regulation.
Paul Helmke is the former executive director of the Brady campaign to prevent gun violence. He says ghost guns have become an issue over the past 4 or 5 years as online delivery has become more widespread. And he says these guns are showing up with greater frequency at crime scenes.
The main thing is that people that are stopped from getting a gun because they've got a criminal record, can't pass a background check. It's really, this is the way to get a gun that's untraceable and getting a gun that you can use.
President Biden's executive action calls for rules that would require serial numbers on the key parts of ghost guns, and he wants these guns treated like any other firearm. In Indianapolis, Richard Essex, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
Richard, thank you. Indiana Republican Senator Mike Braun called President Biden's executive order extreme. He sent News 8 a statement reading, "We all want to keep guns out of the hands of criminals and the dangerously mentally ill, but that can't come at the expense of infringing on the rights of law-abiding citizens like a federal assault weapons ban. Other states should consider real solutions like Indiana's red flag law with proper due process protections." Democratic Congressman Andre Carson tweeted this, "POTUS is right. Thoughts and prayers for victims of gun violence aren't enough. We also need action. I welcome his executive actions on gun safety. Congress must also continue our efforts to pass common sense reforms that save lives." And you can weigh in right now by heading to wishtv.com. You can find the poll on the right side of the page. So far, viewers really split on supporting executive action on guns.